35th District Representative Drew MacEwan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Been a long time.
It has. Good to be in here and doing this instead of from Olympia.
I bet, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to see you, and often through session we talk with you and your counterpart Dan Griffey as well here in the 35th. Just bringing the issues to the folks here in the community, and today kind of kicks off a media tour for you. What's going on with that?
Yeah, just we're talking about what happened, what is happening, which isn't much, by the way, and that's a good thing. And what's coming up next year, and then things that are going on at the local level. But we did a pretty good recap, I think, a session together at the end there, and as you know, I was certainly disappointed in the budget process, and when I was elected at the same time as the governor, so it's easy for me to cite this statistic. When he and I were elected,
sure.
The budget was $33 billion, and today it's pushing $53 billion. And you look at that growth rate, and every budget that he's had, he's called for new taxes, and that's and I don't feel it's been necessary. We've had an average 13% growth rate without doing that, but this year, as you know, there was a $10 billion tax package that was passed through, and the irony of it is they could have increased spending by 14% on this budget without changing the tax code, but they chose to go and increase the taxes and take the spending up over 20%. My concern is that we've had good growth years. There's no denying that, but we've not put ourselves in any kind of position to weather a storm. And this isn't Republican or Democrat. It's a natural economic cycle. You go through ups and downs. We're somewhere in the 8th or 9th inning of this economic expansion, and we are not braced for any type of downturn whatsoever. Our ending fund balance on a $53 billion budget is $100 million. That's a lot to you and me, but if you put that in the context, the easy math is somebody that makes $100,000 a year. That means they're saving $200 for an emergency.
Oh, wow.
What emergency can you buy for $200? But that's the state budget.
Every survey showing people aren't prepared. They don't take vacations. They don't have rainy day funds. A car breaks down. They can't do anything about it.
Yep. We have roughly $3.5 billion in our rainy day fund.
I was just going to bring that up. We saw you post something on your Facebook page the other day, and we read it.
The bond yield inversion.
And I didn't really know what I was saying when I read it. But tell us a little bit about where that came from and what you then see as we do move into this next year.
Yeah. So when the bond yields invert, and what that is, I'm in my quote unquote day job. I'm an investment manager, and so I geek out on this a little bit. But what happens? You look at the Treasury yields, and we have 2-year, 10-year, and 30-year Treasury notes, and obviously, the longer you go out, the more interest one receives or pays, depending on which side of the equation you're on. Mm-hmm. And so what's happened now is that the 2-year Treasury has a higher yield right now than the 10-year Treasury. So you're making more money. If you're an investor, you're getting more money on a shorter-term note. Oh. What that indicates is that the investment world is seeing a lot of risk in equities and in the market in general, and so it's a flight to safety, and so they're moving more money into that 2-year note, and it's kind of a predicator on what's coming. And historically, when you have that inversion happen, it generally a recession happens in the next 24 months. It's somewhat of a forecast, not perfect, but typically throughout our history, within 24 months, you typically have a recession of when those curves end up doing that inversion, and so. That's what that was. It's an indicator. It's a pretty predictable, a pretty stable predictor. But the economies have changed over time. I'm not saying that we're for sure headed for a recession. We are at some point going to have one. But to me, that's just it drove home the point that we need to make this budget be prepared to weather a storm, and it's not in any position right now to be able to do that. And when you've raised taxes significantly and increased spending 20%, you have no room for error. One little downturn in this economy is magnified 100-fold in our budget.
So I know you've been doing a lot of work over the years to try to get economic forecasts presented at quicker bases so you can think about these upcoming sessions. This session, if I'm correct, is a budget session, so it's going to be one of the ones that over the years has gone long as you guys try to look at the
That's
numbers.
What we just did.
Oh, you just did the budget?
That was the long.
So we're in this. Okay.
Yep. So it's a 2-year budget, but we do a budget process next year, and it's a supplemental budget. So we take the existing budget and we make midstream corrections based on forecast. And
okay.
and what's going on. So
I must have got confused because if I remember correctly, then you guys ended on time or close to it for the first
this
time
year.
in many, many years.
Yeah, yes.
And I got confused, which kind of
well, that's confusing.
session it was.
When you end on time, that confuses everybody.
When you are out and about talking in kind of more of a general setting, out of session, what are some of the concerns the folks in the 35th have? And I know that our area is wholly different than other areas up and down I-5 and even Eastern Washington. What are some of the things that people are concerned about?
Right now, it continues to be healthcare. I think is probably, again, the economy is strong. You can always find examples of where people don't have a job or where a certain sector might not be doing well. That you're going to have that in any economic condition. And so, you always have a group of people that are going through challenges there, and that's understandable. But by and large, as a whole demographic, I think it continues to be concerns about health care, whether it's access, which is a concern in a rural area, or affordability, which is just about on everybody's mind. And we need to really come up with the right solution on this, and drop some of the frankly drop all the partisan bickering over it, and get down the brass tacks and deal with this. And mental health, again, I hear that a lot, and we have a broken system. I know of a number of examples that I've heard of over the summer where people, and it's usually younger people in their 20s, 30s, where I've heard of these examples where they know they need some type of mental health care treatment and they can't get in. Mm-hmm. And we have this messed up system between insurance companies and doctors where they insist that you go to a primary provider first in order to get a referral. If your leg is broken, do you go see the primary doctor first? No, you go to the orthopedic. It's broken. We got to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a mental health issue, why can't you just go?
For sure.
And we have this system that just, by and large, doesn't let that happen. Mm-hmm. And that's a main thing that we've got to address, I think, within that system. But by and large, again, it's healthcare and it's access and affordability. And I think we're making strides on the access portion, but we really need to address the affordability issue. And one of the atrocities that's happened in the state in the time I've been in office is our insurance commissioner has made it difficult for companies to do business in the state, and you've seen an exodus. And every year it'll probably happen again going into next year. You'll have a county somewhere in the state that doesn't have any type of group health coverage, and there's a scramble. Well, when you've made the rules so stringent and tight to be able to compete, companies like, I'm not going to deal with it, and we've seen that time and again. And so I think that competition brings down prices, and we need to get more of that.
Do you have questions?
No.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So then, where else are you going on this tour? You got to go hit out a couple other places in the 35th. Is it more of a listening tour, or what's?
We're gonna meet with various media outlets. So we'll talk with the Shelton Journal next. Go up to the Kitsap Sun, and might stop in some businesses along the way and have a chat. So. Yeah, but it's on a positive note here, and talking about what's going on the local level. We've finally got the infrastructure here completed in Shelton. I was proud to be a big part of getting those capital dollars in here, but it's been a frustration, though.
Yeah.
Myself included. Driving through here, but it's nice to see that coming to fruition. And then, with the YMCA, that's going to be another frustration because that roundabout will start to get built soon. But we got a lot of positive things going on here locally, and and that's been from the work from both local level and state level, and getting things going here. So the face of this community is changing in a positive way, and you look at the new schools that we're going to have built that are soon to be done. Again, the YMCA coming in. Nice new roads in the Shelton area.
Things are looking good around here.
A good sewer, which nobody sees, and you don't want to see it. But if you see it, it's a bad sewer. So
it's there.
You're not smelling it. So
yeah, but there's again a lot of positive things going on. We've got we're working on extending the Belfair the Belfair sewer into South Kitsap.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
That's going to be again something you don't really see, but people are going to notice it in their wallet that are in that sewer district. And again, it's going to take a couple of years to get done, but and then again the Belfair bypass, although now it's officially the freight corridor. It's the same thing, folks. it's a road.
Starting to see some signage up there for sure.
Yep.
Well, Drew MacEwan's always accessible through his website. You can just Google Drew MacEwan. It shows up right there, drewmacEwan.houserepublicans.wa.gov. There's plenty of ways to get in touch with the different email updates, sponsored bills, and videos. Yep. And we'll look forward to talking with you throughout the session this year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.